Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Poster Drop mini episode side stage. I'm sure I got that wrong. Thank you, Joe and Bud, again, as always, for coming back on. We haven't talked about posters in a couple days. A few have come out. Some we expected and some we didn't expect. The first poster that came out a couple days ago, since we did the last episode, was the green blessed hand. What'd you guys think about the green blessed hand?
I absolutely loved it. I ended up buying one.
Nice.
So, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it. It's just not comparable to Cleveland still.
Well, you were at Cleveland, Bud, so I don't think any poster is going to compare to Cleveland, especially what you went through to get that.
It could be accurate. It's a cool color scheme. I think it's going to be one of those, like, people love it or hate it.
Yeah, I love Auckland. So for me, this is kind of reminiscent of Auckland. So I actually like that. But I like this one better than Cleveland. I know I probably will be in the minority, but yeah, I love it.
Ooh.
Boo. No, I like them both. I definitely like them both. I think it's cool. I think what they're maybe doing, or maybe they're not doing, is doing a blessed hand for every mystic guy.
Yes, I thought that until today.
Why is that?
I know, right? Today threw a monkey wrench into everything we had anticipated was coming.
I think that they had to change up something because of the 2 days they're in London. And why not do, I mean, that was the perfect opportunity, right? To do that with the Corins.
Yeah, I get that. I was actually talking to someone just a minute ago before I got in here with you, and he had a decent idea. Like, rather than do all these great turn variants, if you're going to do a split for London like this, why not do the turn split in half? You know what I mean? Like, you got one facing upward, and you have the dark turn facing downward.
That's true. I don't know.
I'm just happy that they mixed it up a little bit. It was kind of getting predictable, this European tour, and for them to do what they did today and tomorrow, it was refreshing for me. It's just because they've never done something like this before. So, or at least to my knowledge. So I was really happy with it. I'd rather have them do that than give us another, great turn or another
blessed hand.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about this poster yet, but so there was a green blessed hand, and then there was another evolved Addy. It looked like the murdered out version. It seemed a little blacker than usual and a little darker and different. And we were talking about this on the last episode of the poster drop stuff, but it looks like it's on different paper as well.
You're not talking about Dublin, right? You're talking about Hamburg.
No, the last evolved they just did, the red one, the reddish looking one. How different is it from Memphis?
Not at all.
I think the color in the actual tool letters is a little bit different. I pulled out my Memphis today and was looking at it, so I think that's a little bit different. I kind of like the gray as opposed to. I think Memphis has some gray in it, but not completely like this one does. I mean, that really is the only difference I can see besides the red, I guess, the red horns.
Green, great hand. I thought it was cool. I want to start there. I think they could still do a hand for each mystic guy, but maybe they won't. Then you have the murdered out Memphis, which everybody was expecting. And then you have, which was released today and going to be released tomorrow. They had the Corin from Portland 2019, right? Or 2020. And then the Eugene from 2020 and 2022. They had a long version. I forget what that painting's called in general. Lost Days? Yeah. They have the full Lost Days on an 18 by 36. And then they have half for one show today, like another poster altogether. They have half of it, 18 by 24.
Oh, that one, I don't know. 18 by 24 is normal.
Then they had, because the full one is like 18 by 36. And then the normal one is 18 by 24, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I thought those ones were bigger than normal, too. I could be wrong, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the one sheet was 24 by 36.
Yeah, I thought
But
the normal posters were. No, you might be right there. 18 by 24. But anyways, they have the full poster of the full Lost Days, and then they broke it up, however big they are, into day 1 and day 2 of London. And I think it's pretty fucking cool. America did not get that, so it's definitely one thing. I mean, we got each individual poster, but we didn't get the double. We didn't get the full one. And people,
I was gonna say
people were asking for that.
We did. Well, I was gonna say we got that. We got Portland and Eugene,
but not at the same. We didn't get a full one.
Yeah, my biggest problem with that thing is the tool being sideways would drive me nuts. A personal OCD thing.
You don't think it's kind of cool to have it like all the way on the side?
I mean, it's different, but the fact that everything else is not that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we did talk about this before about having a poster horizontal and vertical, or landscape and whatever the other word is. It's a vertical poster that they put tool on horizontally.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I like they're mixing it up.
Yeah, they got to do something. And I know in the U.S. when they were doing all their poster drops, I know there were a couple cool ones in the West Coast in the beginning of the tour, but it seemed like all the really cool stuff was on the East Coast on the second leg. You think they may be doing that, where they were just kind of waiting for London? Now they got about half the tour left. We're going to really throw out some cool shit.
Personally, no. I think this was just a one and done thing for London and Corinne. And I think the rest will be back to variants.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I would love to see some more, different prints like this, but I think this was because it's London and because it's 2 nights.
I mean, you're probably right. You're definitely probably right. I know that when I woke up this morning, because it was up early, I'm totally not lying. I had a dream last night that I was trying to get Tool posters and not succeeding. And I woke up, immediately looked at my phone and saw this double wide poster. And I thought I was still dreaming for a second. I was like, wait a second. And I kind of like went back to bed like immediately. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Went back to sleep. It was like, wait a second. What did I just see? Did I just see a full? I'm like, was that real? I had to check my phone again.
I thought it was a bad Photoshop at first. I don't mean to shit on it. Like I love the Lost Days, and I have a Portland hanging in my house. And once I finally get my attended signed Eugene, it will join it. I personally just don't like the way they did it. I mean, it's cool that it's different, but for me personally, I'm not a fan.
Is there a specific reason why you don't like it? Just because the tool's on the one weird side, on either side of the longer poster?
That's one reason. I don't know. I don't like that it's, the fact that it's like, I'm pretty sure it's 24 by 36 we were saying for the cut one. And then they have another print that's supposed to be all of it together. I don't know. I like my 18 by 24's portrait.
You don't like change, bud. You don't like change, bud.
No, I don't. And like Joe's saying, I get that people are going to like it because it's different. That's cool too. It's just, for me, I'm not a huge fan. And my thought was, like when we were talking about possibly going to Europe like a week or two ago, my original intent was to go to London. And again, this had nothing to do with that. I would have bought both of them each day that I was there. But like I said, I have a Portland and a Eugene, and then I'm going to have those also had I gone. That's a lot of real estate just for Lost Days.
That is a lot of real estate. I'm looking up how many shows there are left. There are 8 shows left. Where did we left off on where was that in the original? Was that number 4? Like it went great turn. All right. So then you're probably right. We probably have 2 cycles through the European variants. I guess then the question is what colors are how are they going to vary how the variant's going to vary?
Maybe we'll get the green Auckland style turn.
I would like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Because we have a blue, or what was the first hand in Europe? It was like a blue one, right? And then
is blue red. Blue. The guy's bluish, and then with the white lettering.
And then now we have a green one. So what? We're missing purple, and what else? to match the Mystic Eyes.
Yeah, I would say that Cleveland and Stockholm would be like the Indy, Sydney, and then you have the Auckland being whatever city that is, and then you'd have to have just the Newark left, but then you got one more, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, because exactly, because there's 4 Mystic Eyes, right? Indianapolis, Newark, Auckland, and Sydney. And then so Sydney's kind of bluish. So is Indianapolis. Then Newark is purple and Auckland is green. As of right now, we have 2 blue hands, right? And 1 green.
Yep.
And 1 green hand. So we're just missing a purple at this point.
Yeah, the Newark.
Yeah, the Newark style. So if we did get 2 more hands, one would be completely not following the Mystic Eyes.
Could get something totally crazy.
I'm trying to get that gold Mystic Eye in Budapest.
Well, since I'm not going, it'll probably happen. So congratulations. Nice.
I mean, we pretty much know there's 8 shows. They've been through the variants twice with these 2 Corins. It would really depend on what comes out after London, of whether or not they're going to stick to the same route.
I think you're going to get a, let's say, a pink turn because it's Paris.
Frankfurt looks, when you don't have it up close, it looks pink and black a little bit. So that might, I hope they do something different. I don't know. I'm just looking for different stuff. The last 8 should be something, hopefully, that everybody wants to try to get. Who knows if they'll tour again? These are possibly the last 8 shows. So hopefully they do some cool stuff with it.
I think it's highly unlikely they would stop touring just from.
Don't you ever say that.
I mean,
I know. I have to be devil's advocate, man. I got to throw that out there,
Just from the, interviews that one that Adam Jones did, where, he said he wants to tour every 6 months to, I just don't see it. I mean, they have so much more money to make.
Bud, what do you think of how the market's going? Like, nobody's buying anything.
Fuck, nobody is.
Prices are dropping.
I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm glad I'm missing out. Got the best of a lot of people.
I thought it was crazy how expensive everything was during the tour, So I suspected they'd come back down. I didn't think they would plummet like they are, but I think there's other factors playing there.
Well, you gotta hope that it kind of, I don't know, picks up or not. I mean, I guess it just depends on who you are. If you're somebody that has some you're trying to sell, or if you're somebody that's trying to buy them, I mean, it's great the way the market is now. I'm going to be interested to see what happens when these 8 shows are done and we don't know really what's coming.
I can't.
Yeah,
what's the market going to be like then?
And, in like, let's say 6 months to a year, a lot of these posters are going to find their forever homes or whatever. So you're going to have less and less that are available, which will probably start to drive them back up. But I just don't think they're going to get to where they were. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
Like, I think that's why, like, Cleveland plummeted so much was, one, it was ridiculous right off the bat what people were charging and paying for them because of FOMO. But there's so many that are trying to find homes still that it's a buyer's market for them,
Yeah, and then the Alex Gray drops didn't help really as well. I'm glad he did it, though, because there's a lot of people that really wanted Mystic Eyes, and they never had an opportunity to get them. And so those folks were able to get, like, the one poster they were dying to get, But
were you around, Bud, when Boston was released? Was either of you around when Boston came out? The Boston 2019, the Mark Brooks one?
Yeah, I was involved in this. For me personally, I think I probably bought it around, I don't know, maybe the end of 2019 for $500.
Okay. So,
and at the time for me, that I was like, holy shit, this $500. But I mean, in hindsight now it's, completely jumped in price, but
because that one seemed to have it's still pretty value. You probably get, significant amount of money for that one now. I'm just wondering if that's what will happen with something like the Cleveland. But it also doesn't. I mean, the Mystic Eyes, there's a bunch of variants, and those are still crazy expensive. So,
yeah, I think all three of the Mark Brooks are going to hold their value.
Yeah, I think the reason Boston is what it is they don't move very often. Even like Indy, for instance, is still worth quite a bit, but you see more Indies move, or you have over this whole time seen way more Indies move than Boston. It seems like people who have Boston don't want to give them up.
I mean, I think I got really lucky when with the one that I got. I traded,
Same here. I mean, I'm staring at my Boston, and I don't think that's going to leave. Like, it would take quite a bit.
Agreed. And I'm pretty sure. I know you just said it, but Joe, you have one as well. Like, what would it take to get that Boston out of your hands?
I probably wouldn't sell it for no less than $1,500. That'd be my starting point. And I think that there's two others that are so highly sought after is Washington, D.C. 2019 and Atlantic City. I think both of those, even though I do occasionally see somebody sell a DC, I saw someone sell one today for $800. I think that was an insane price, but I think those two are going to be ones that will be expensive, maybe not as expensive as, let's say, like the Boston Brooks, but those seem to be highly sought after. And I think that they'll only go up in value.
And that's probably the cheaper of the Malonis.
The DC?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be easier and cheaper to get a DC than Aftershock.
Yeah, I just sold my Aftershock about a month ago.
What?
I did.
I hope you got exactly what you wanted from it. So here's a question. What do you think that full length London with both dates, you think that's going to be a crazy one in the future to get a hold of and be super expensive?
Personally, no.
I think it may, if it ends up being the only print that goes in that direction. And I guess what the one sheet of, there was 300 today. I wonder if there's going to be 300 tomorrow, or so I think it depends on maybe the run number. If there's 600 of them, 300 today, 300 tomorrow, maybe not. But I mean, because when you get that, those are going to be kind of a bitch to get framed, really.
Yeah.
And it takes up, it takes up the space of two prints.
That's what I was thinking too. Was the nightmare behind that? One, they got to get to the States. Two, like you said, framing's going to be expensive. And then three, even if you don't want to frame it right away, most people have 18 by 24 portfolios that's not going to fit in.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's, instead of 18 by 24, I think it's 18 by 36, which is kind of a weird size. 24 by 36 is like the bigger movie posters.
Yeah.
So they have those frames available, like float frames and stuff.
Sure.
The 18 by 36 would be, I mean, all of mine are custom anyway, so it's not like it's that big of a deal, but 18 by 36, I don't have a 36 by 24 portfolio to put those in. And most people probably don't. I mean, people do, but 18 by 24 is a common one.
No, I have one movie poster that I'm looking to get framed from the movie Frighteners. It's by a specific artist. It's the only movie poster I've bought, and since I've gotten to Tool posters, it was just that cool. And
Peter Jackson?
Yeah, the Frighteners movie. Yeah, I love that movie. Mm-hmm. And it's just a sick poster.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, and it's 24 by 36, and I have to keep it flat, like in a big foam folder, because I don't have anything that can fit it until I get it framed.
The stuff that I have that's too big for my portfolio, I got 2 pieces of foam board.
That's what I did.
And then put them through that, and then tape the sides.
That's exactly what I did.
I learned the hard way because I bought a fucking Zoltron that was, instead of being 18 by 24, it's 18 by 25. So that when you go to put in your portfolio, it just sticks out. I'm like, what the hell? This is dying to get bent.
Zoltron. That's terrible. Joe, do you have any movie posters? Have you ever went in that direction?
I did a long time ago. Yeah, I would collect original movie posters, but I ended up getting rid of all of them. I started collecting, like original Halloween, Die Hard, like, just some of my favorite Natural Born Killers, like some of my favorite movies. And that's how I actually got into it.
Yeah, when I first started, I told myself to stay away from movie stuff because I already like enough movies that if I got one, I'm going to have to get all of them. You know what I mean? So I made the business decision to stay away from movie stuff.
I think I'll eventually get into it. I think there's going to be like a handful that I'm like, I need, like, I'm going to definitely get a Fight Club one. Frighteners was too cool. I don't know. I've seen some really good drive ones.
Well, I've seen some great ones. It's just I stayed away from them because I knew that would just open a floodgate of money.
Do we know if the Corin that came out today and the half of it tomorrow and the full one, is that a different background than?
I believe it's the same.
Yeah, I believe it's the same too. And hey, Chris, if you have your phone handy, I texted you a picture.
I'm looking at it.
To me, that does not look like 36 inches.
It looks longer, right?
I guess it is. I'm just looking at a guy holding it, and it's like, I don't know. That looks like.
No, it looks. It's supposed to be 18 by 36 because it's the side of it is the same height. So it's
Did you guys see the video of the guy walking by holding them? With the wind pushing them.
Yeah.
I mean, those are big.
Yeah, they're not.
I didn't see that.
I think someone posted it in Loot, but yeah, you can see like just he's walking with them, like not rolled up. He's got one of each, and it's just the wind catches them, and it's like a flag in his hands because they're so goddamn long.
Because I know they did like a double one with some of the skulls. They like go together, right? There's like a San Francisco one. There's a couple.
Same with fish.
Yeah, there's been a couple of fish. There's been a couple of the 2010 ones that went together. You know, whenever they have two dates at one place, you know, the Vegas Mary and Jesus go together.
I have the left side of San Francisco because I attended that show, but I don't have the other side.
I'm gonna eventually get them Jesus and Mary ones.
Yeah.
The problem is I keep running into somebody who has one and not the other, and they still want, you know, 900 for each, and I'm just like, nah. And that's unsigned.
Crazy.
And that's unsigned. I had some dude in the middle of the tour. He was like $1,500 for both of them framed, and I'm like, I'd rather not have them framed. And he was like, you got to come pick them up in Bakersfield. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, the more I'm looking at this one sheet, the more I'm starting to like it, knowing that it's 18 by 36.
I'm not trying to be mean, Joe, but I think you also get FOMO pretty regularly, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I'm sitting there already pondering, do I sell the 3 I have and then just get that one? That's how my mind works. Yeah. I'm always thinking of.
Nobody wants to buy my Cleveland, so maybe I'll trade my Cleveland for one.
Which Cleveland?
2022. Nobody wants to buy it because the market is flooded, but trades are still kind of going. I feel like I've seen. I think people are more willing to trade than they are than to sell. I think you can get away with selling way more than you can get away with, or you can get away with trading something for something really good at equal value other than selling.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think anybody's really looking to buy.
I appreciate you coming on. I thought we had some, like you said, we had some expected posters come out and some unexpected. I do really like the green hand. Probably my favorite of all the hands that came out so far, except for Cleveland. Nothing beats Cleveland, in my opinion. That shit is dope.
100%.
And then, other than that, then we have, like I said, the Corin, which came out of left field. I don't think anybody saw that coming, even though we should have probably. Still cool. And I hope they do something different with the rest of the tour.
Yeah, I know. Well, hopefully there's some good ones, regardless if they're variants or not. They got 8 more shows, so let's.
And for those listening, I will be, COVID gods willing. I will be at Poland, Prague, and Hungary, and hopefully interviewing some people and maybe even a couple of other special guests. Again, universe, if it's on my side.
Good luck.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. So again, thanks, Bud. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you guys coming on. And we'll have you on again, I'm sure, really soon. We have 8 more shows, so we're probably going to do 2 or 3 more poster drop episodes. And I'll definitely have you both on again before this tour ends.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. And thank you for listening. Spiral out.